Both sales and service, this is a huge area. The principal driver for people in the field, if they are supplying a product, is they want to know if it's in stock and how much it's going to cost. So that is a key piece to expose. Obviously, if you've got order takers, they don't care if it's in stock usually. They're just recording 6, 12, 10. But if I'm a service provider or I'm a sales guy and I need to get stock or make a repair now, that is a key piece of business knowledge to me, and exposing that at the back end is more often than not a key driver of a mobile solution. Territories. Lots of businesses have pseudo-territories, charts on the wall with coloured boxes. This is my territory, that's your territory. Documenting them and systemising them, entirely different thing. And quite entertaining to watch how businesses try and do it. And it's actually critical. So if you can start a tech on territory without having them to come in or receive jobs or replenish stock, so they can actually replenish from like a supplier's warehouse. If you can achieve that, you can usually get just a job a day out of them just doing that. And if you can finish them on site as well, so they finish at 5 o'clock on site, even better. The number of businesses that drop an hour to an hour and a half at the front and back end of every day and come to the office is enormous. If you then factor in the business cost of that, you've basically lost a third of a day every day in billable time. And as a good consulting business, any service provider will tell you, my function of my income is times the number of man hours I can charge out. So we are very focused on trying to allow businesses to understand how to allocate jobs within space, if that makes sense. So effective use of territory planning. Reporting tends to be quite entertaining. We used to go, yeah, we've got all these standard reports. It's just a waste of time because you're amazed at the bizarre and obscure things that people have always wanted to know or have felt in a gut feel, but if you give them the information points to actually expose it, they want to report about it. And they don't just want the report to come once. So the typical sort of spreadsheet business, where they'll have someone, I won't use the customer name because they're actually a big business. We have a customer, national business, they flog blinds. They have 2 people full-time, all they do is compile store sales statistics. So basically what they trend is if you come into a store and actually have an interaction, they trend the outcome of that interaction. Equally they trend if you make a phone call into the store or whatever and a rep comes to see you, they trend that interaction. If you ask me the way that I think realistically speaking now they now realise what they were doing before was totally valueless, but it made them feel good. So it was an important report for them. But once you got the feel-good report, then you could actually, they had the, if you like, the building blocks of knowledge to be able to see, well, geez, now we've got this data, maybe we could get this data and this data that we've always wanted. And usually we find that with reporting, sometimes companies have got what I call the spot report. So once a year they get this mad frenzy to try and compile all this extra data to come up with what they think is the vibe of the thing. And we like to actually capture so much crap that you can report whenever you want, so decide what you want. Service values in the sales process. I guess what I mean is people are really trying to seek transparency, and hopefully no one saw 4 Corners last night and got all depressed about GPS and, I could commit suicide because someone's got GPS on me. But basically the vibe what I'm really trying to expose there is that I guess service values is service technicians are extremely accountable. They have to be, because at the end of the day you need to maximise the utilisation in order to deliver customer service. Those service values are really getting exposed more, so businesses are trying to understand that an X job takes 2 hours, so therefore I want to pre-allocate 2 hours, and I don't want that to just be a gut feel. I want the receptionist to be able to log the call and then to actually allocate that time. I guess the final thing which we now see in almost every instance is businesses are really looking outside the square now, saying, I'm not just going to measure my guys on money. And although I hate the concept of the balanced scorecard, I suppose that's really the cut thrust, is that there's other things coming into the business metrics that say this person is a good employee versus this person isn't. And it could be time utilisation, it could be callback ratios. I mean, that's one of the big things we use in our business. We actually trend, if we do an install today, we actually trend over the next 90 days the callback ratio. And so as a business, we accept that 15% of customers will require support within the first 90 days. But if our guys, if it's an absolute doddle for us to see if a guy is actually working outside of that 15%. And equally, on the development side, if you look at KPIs, we actually trend bugs within, so let's say I'm the nerd that's actually written the code, we'll actually trend the bug ratio on the code that guy's written. So when it comes to how many bugs did I actually get, so when we log a call, which I'll show you when I bring up the demo, when we log a call, one of the fault codes is ant-to-bug. And then we can actually drill into a bit more detail, so we basically fuse the activity type with the bug type and go, that was, I won't say skimmed because it's being recorded. And if he ever sees this, he'll go, no, I'm not the worst.